Today we are talking about the fact that not everyone likes you and why we should not care. This is absolutely one of my favorite topics, so let's get into it. Welcome back to your Emotional Support Podcast. I am your host, Noelle. Today we are going to lovingly dismantle the idea that everyone has to like us. So this is scary for a lot of people. This is one of my favorite topics, but it is not a lot of people's favorite topics because it's hard, right? This is a real fear that people don't like us, especially people who might consider themselves people pleasers or recovering people pleasers. It's hard to accept when people don't like us. But that is also why I think that this is so important to talk about, because when you stop needing approval from people, you start reclaiming your own peace. And I think that brings so much to your sense of self-worth that there is just nothing better than just freeing yourself of needing everyone else's approval to feel good about yourself. And that's why this is my favorite topic. Okay, so let's start talking first about why we want to be liked. Okay, this is something that is in every single one of us. It is evolutionary biology. Okay, our brains are wired for social belonging. So I found an article in the Harvard Business Review called Why We Want to Be Liked. And I'm going to add this link in the show notes, and I'm going to talk about where you find all those at the end of this episode. So here's the quote. Throughout history, being accepted by the majority was a predictor of your survival. As time went on and societies evolved, along with the technologies that helped us meet our basic needs, likability became less of a mechanism for survival and more of a measurement of our self-worth. Today, many of us still equate being good or worthy of love to the number of people who like us. Okay, this is exactly what I want to smash. I would like to take a sledgehammer and smash this up. Okay, because we do not need other people to like us to be good or worthy of love. So another reason why we want to be liked, this could come from like childhood patterns, that being liked made you feel safe. It made you feel worthy when you're a young child, right? When you're a kid, and you get the sense that somebody doesn't like you, obviously that doesn't feel good. And we don't like that not feeling good feeling. And obviously, social media intensifies all of this. Likes, follows, any kind of reactions, comments feel like validation. And they have turned and morphed into this not just validation for our post, but validation for our sense of self and our sense of self-worth. And that is not okay. So a little zinger here. Your brain's just trying to keep you from being kicked out of the tribe. But spoiler, this isn't caveman times, and your worth isn't up for vote. Okay? So you get to decide. You decide your worth, not anyone else. So now we're going to talk about why it's okay and actually healthy if not everyone likes you. Your authenticity will always challenge someone else's expectations, and that's not your problem. I want to sew this on a pillow. Okay, I'm going to say it again because it's so important. Your authenticity, meaning who you truly are, will always challenge what someone else expects you're going to be. That is not your problem. You get to be you, and their expectations and opinions are theirs. That doesn't change who you get to be. Okay, so there's many reasons why, like, initially we might meet someone and they might not like us. And so we're going to dive into what some of those look like. So, intuition. We might meet someone, walk into a space. Let's say we're going to a party. Okay, we're going to this party. We're talking to our friend, it's whatever. And then this new person comes up and your friend says, "Oh, Noelle, this is Bob." Okay, so, Bob and I are talking and I get the feeling that Bob does not like me. Okay, so I'm going to analyze in my brain why this might be. Okay, so it might be Bob's intuition. Bob might feel like there's just something off about me. He might just have this gut feeling. Something is signaling him in his brain or his gut or whatever that there's something off about me, and he just maybe can't quite put his finger on it. Okay? Did I do anything? Nope. This is Bob. Okay? Bob might not like me because he might be projecting. Okay? This is a fancy psychological term, but he might be putting things on me, projecting his own insecurities, fears, traits, anything that he doesn't like about himself. He might be projecting those onto me. And again, anything I did? Not at all. Okay, this is Bob and what's going on in his head. Okay, Bob might have some jealousy or some envy. He might see qualities in me or things that I possess or relationships that I have or something like that he is jealous of or resents about me or is envious about. Again, should I not have these things? Is this in my control? No. He could be equating some past experiences that he's had with this new encounter that he's having with me. Maybe I remind him of someone who he had negative encounters with, or it could be that I remind him of someone in his past who treated him very poorly or something like that. Again, am I that person? No. These are all Bob's issues. He might find when he's talking to me that we have mismatched values or beliefs, okay, which is very common, especially nowadays. People have different political beliefs, different religious values, things like that, okay, and this can create a lot of discomfort and disapproval for people. Again, am I wrong? No. Did I do anything wrong? No. There could be something going on with Bob where he is taking something out of context, some sort of like nonverbal cue that I'm throwing out. Body language, my tone of voice, my facial expression, all of those things can trigger a negative response from someone else. I have a very, what they call RBF. Okay, I don't like that term because this is just my face, but I get it all the time. And I have the kind of face that when I'm concentrating or when I just have like a normal face, I look like I'm angry. Okay, I think 3 people in just this week have said something to me about like, what's wrong? And nothing is wrong, but I just look really mad. So it could just be that is off-putting to him, or he's getting a vibe from my facial expressions that I don't like him or something like that, okay? He could be just in a really bad mood, okay? He could have come to this party and right before when he was on his way, he and his partner got into some sort of, fight or something like that. It could have, been a really bad day at work or something like that. Again, nothing to do with me, but it's just the, bad timing. He could find me overpowering or draining. Okay, maybe I am just too much for him, which is absolutely the case sometimes. Okay, but all of these things, every single one of these things that I've mentioned, have nothing to do with who I am as a person or what kind of value I bring to the world, right? I didn't change who I was. I'm just myself. I am authentically me at this party, having a good time. Bob comes in with all his things and doesn't like me. I can't take any of that personally because I didn't do anything wrong. So the point here is that when someone doesn't like you, 999 times out of 1,000, it is because of something going on with them, not something going on with you. So you would just be absolutely in the wrong to take that personally because there's nothing personal about it. Okay? Usually when someone is liked by everyone, if they're universally liked, that usually means that they are inauthentic or overextending themselves. Okay? I am always suspicious of people who are liked by everyone because I'm like, what are you hiding? Because no one can be that nice or that wonderful all the time. Although there is this one woman at work that I was suspicious of at first, but she's grown on me, and I really do honestly think that she is authentically just a really wonderful person. So don't follow my lead. Not everyone that is liked by everyone is inauthentic, but be cautious. That's my advice. You don't like everyone. I am guessing that you don't like everyone you meet, and that's okay, right? So just mathematically speaking, not everyone is going to like you, right? My husband's a math teacher, so I'm pretty sure if I run that by him, that will track. So the main idea here is that, we just have to be okay with that discomfort, with that uncomfortable feeling that somebody doesn't like us. Because like I said before, it sucks when people don't like us. It doesn't feel good. But at the same time, we can't take it personally, and we have to be able to kind of sit with that discomfort and be like, that is about them and not about me, and I just have to move on. And that is the best tip that I can give to you, because you were not put on this earth to be liked by other people. You were put here to be real. And the more real you are, the more you are going to attract real people who you have an honest connection with. Because if you're not your real self and you're just walking around trying to pretend to be something that everyone likes, you're not going to have those real friendships and those real relationships that are like authentic connections that you feel like that this is like your person, right? Because they're not going to know who your real person is if you're not being authentic. So how do we get over this? How do we get over this need for approval? First of all, you have to name it, okay? You have to name whatever it is that you're afraid of. You just have to put a name on it. So for example, you have to say to yourself, I'm afraid they'll think what? I'm afraid they'll think I'm rude. I'm afraid they'll think I'm a bad mom. I'm afraid they'll think I'm ugly. Okay? Put a name on it. What are you afraid of? And then ask yourself, so what if they do? What if they think I'm a bad mom? Does their opinion of how I raise my kid matter that much? What if they think I'm ugly? Frankly, that's just rude. And that is on them because that's not nice. Okay? So play it out in your head, right? Have that conversation with yourself. Why do you care? And then also practice internal validation. Okay? If you're in a situation and you feel like somebody doesn't like you, ask yourself, do I like how I showed up in this situation? Was I aligned with my values? Because maybe you were off your game. And that's okay too. We're not perfect all the time. And we aren't going to be able to be our best selves all the time. So maybe you just weren't that day. And that's okay too. Give yourself a break. Okay, get curious, not performative. Instead of asking, do they like me? What if you asked, do I feel like myself around them? Or do I like myself around them? Because that's the more important question. And always affirm your own self-worth. You don't have to twist to fit the right people. Okay? The right people don't need you to change who you are for them to like you. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time. The right people don't need you to change who you are for them to like you. And then just a quick reminder about boundaries. Someone being disappointed doesn't mean you did something wrong. Okay? This is about people being unable to respect other people's boundaries. Okay, if someone else is upset about something you did, unless you can honestly own it and say, yes, I messed up, I did something wrong. If someone else is disappointed, that is because of their expectations. You are not responsible for other people's expectations. Okay, so just to wrap up, not everyone liking you isn't a failure. It's a sign you're living authentically. So here's what I want you to do this week. Say no to something just to honor your own bandwidth. Just to be able to say no. Let someone be a little annoyed with you and don't try to fix it. These are hard. These are hard. Or this one's a little easier. Write down 3 things you like about yourself. You're not alone in this. This work is hard, but it is worth it. All right, so a little bit about show notes before I wrap up. I just added show notes on my website, youremotionalsupportpodcast.com. I'm going to add the link to that Harvard Business Review that I touched on before. There's also some links to my blog and other things like that on the website. I'm also coming up. There's going to be some really cool new stuff coming up that I hope you'll stay tuned for. Today's reminder you didn't ask for but definitely need. You liking you is so much more important than others liking you. All right, that's it, everybody. I am so glad you're here. I'll see you next time.